Hey guys, Optimus Prime 86 here for another episode of That's Just Prime. And this week we have another quite special episode in the sense that, well, we have for starters my overall for iterations of Optimus Prime, my utmost favorite version. I don't know what it is about Fire Convoy or Robots in Disguise 2001 robot Optimus Prime we have here, but I just really love that mode, both in truck mode and in robot mode, which we'll see later in this review. I already have one on display. This is my second one. But the other reason why it's also a special video is because this is my very first one that I get to unbox from brand new mint from 2000s. In this case, I want to do a big shout out to my friend Cesar Umali on Facebook, who I acquired this from. He's from Montreal, Quebec, and I recommend you go check him out. He has a whole lot more to sell, really affordable prices, really fast shipping, and really easy to deal with. Really nice gentleman. So I strongly recommend. So again, Cesar Umali, Umali. So if you are looking for some really cool bots. He has some in this line, some in other lines as well. I saw some Beast Wars stuff. I saw some um, uh, Energon and Armada, I believe, stuff as well in there and stuff like that. So he has a very diverse collection, and like I said, very, very good seller. So strongly recommend. So without further ado, let's move on to the unboxing of this beast. So for starters, of course, before we open it up, let's have a look at the beautiful 20-year-old packaging. Um, Still almost mint. There's a slight crease here at the top, but and a few little bumps, like creases in the bubble. But other than that, it looks crisp for a 20-year-old box. The cuttable card here at the back with Optimus's uh, strength and stats. And then at the bottom, because this one is going to become my Omega Prime, since I already have an Optimus on display, I'm going to do a review of this guy next. And then in a separate video, we're going to make them Omega together. And then I also have a third one, this one not in box, coming, that's going to be displayed as the fire truck. So I'm going to have all three modes, and I'm even debating, there's the one mode that I don't like as much is the basic robot mode, where you make the base kind of like with the rest of the armor, and then just have like the front part of the cab in robot mode, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. That one's not my utmost favorite, but I am debating putting it on display as well to have all really four modes, because there's truck mode, there's that mode, there's the battle mode, which is the one that I like to see Optimus on display with, and there is Omega Prime mode, which I want to make with this one. So let's go. All right, here we are, cracking it open. So this piece I really love because of its size as well. It's massive. So let's... Actually, I'll put that here open because I'll put the plastic in it after. And my kitties, of course, are going at it as usual. Alright, so let's start by getting cardboards and plastic at the ends off. There we go. Let's do the other side. There we go. Take the plastic off. Let's also get the tie wraps underneath here undone. That's one. 2, 3. Okay. And we should be able to take it out of the plastic. Come on. There's always the one. That's always harder than the other. There we go. Alright. This one goes through the ladder. Alright, and there we have the truck out. So let's get rid of the remnants of the packages, but first we can't forget the missiles that are stuck underneath the package. And then put the rest back in the box. For now. Alright, and the instructions are over here, also in a bag. Nice and neat. So, let's undo the other tie wrap here underneath. Just to show you. Oops. There goes his gun. They seem to be putting it here underneath somewhere. Ow! And there's another one here. 1 second, on the side. And now we have him free of his packaging prison. I see. I did not know that. Apparently the gun goes underneath here in robot mode, in truck mode, and is another wheel. I had no clue until now. So here we have him in his majestic, oh, 1 second. Let's clip the front together properly. In his majestic truck mode. I wonder if there's no batteries in this one. Why does it keep opening? Just click in place like you're supposed to. Just 1 second. This tab. This should tab. That was the one flaw with this mold, is that there's so many things tabbing together to make it stick that sometimes it has a few issues of lining up things properly. But here we are. So, in its truck mode, let's put the missiles on while we're at it. Come on. Oh, actually, one thing I just noticed I forgot, there is an elastic band here that we need to take off. And then this goes in here. This goes in here. This goes in here. And this goes in here. Alright, so these all come locked down. So the ladder actually moves, also I believe extends somehow. 1 sec. Yes, also extends. So just so you guys can see. Then if we bring it back in, the sides also open up to make the base mode. I'll show you again in a few minutes. And then this button here on top brings these things up. And then for the missiles, how did I know there's a way. where they all flip up. Just 1 second, I might need the instructions on this one. There's a button we press. Give me 1 sec. I just have them out all the time on my other one, so I can't remember. I know there definitely is. It's at the back of the ladder. Yes, now I see it. So there's a little tab back here. You see right here, and when you press it, they all come up. And they also all fire, because you know what would be Transformers without firing missiles. So press that button and pew! There we go. All right. So with batteries, there is sounds. If you give me a second, actually, I will show you. Give me, because I have another one that has batteries. All right. So here he is. I guess that's a good comparison in size-wise from truck mode to full battle mode. So that's how I like to display mine currently as Optimus Prime. And then like my cats hate that bot. I thought there wasn't. There it is. 5 different sounds that it makes, basically. And this is full battle armor. So I'm going to show you how to get there. But first, let me put him back. And yeah, for some reason, my cats really hate the sounds that comes out of this one particularly. Ultra Magnus, they don't really care. But this Optimus, they just do not like. Alright, so if we now move on to transformation to get him from where he is now to what you've just seen, let me get the instruction because it's been a little while. First, let's get him to its regular robot mode with side base. So for that, we're going to separate the front part of the cab. There we go, like such. This is going away for now, and this is our cab. So, for starters, oh, also, when you separate them apart, just so you know, these come apart in such a way. There we go. These also separate from one another somehow. Just 1 second. Yeah, they just literally pulls the tab and a slant. There we go. This is going to become his armor and head later. But for the moment, we're interested in this part. So we flip these back to start. Oops, not this one. The one with the wheel. Just like that. Then this folds down and becomes straight. We separate and turn inwards like such. These wrap around Now, we need to pull these back, flip the feet, I guess, sorry, because we're doing both. There we go. Lock this back in place, just like that. Now, we're going to bring up, sorry, I need to figure one thing out. Yeah, the fist needs to come off because they're going to be assembled after the fact. Okay, and then that allows you to bring the legs down all the way. And then we can take his arms and bring them out. Pull this one down, bend, pull it down, twist, bend. So now you should have a robot that starts to look like this, and we bring down his chest to reveal his head. Clamping this part at the back and bringing up the two lights like such. Oh, 1 second. Just going to stabilize them. There we are. And then these are going to become part of his... Whoop. Of course I popped the fist. These are going to be part of his base as well. So this is the figure itself for Optimus without the battle armor. So his gun in his hand. So in terms of articulation, we're going to take a look first closely at the figure, I guess. So you've got the legs with where the cab comes and formed them. I like the detail on it, but I feel like it could have been more articulated than it is. But it is overall, like I said, my favorite mold. This mode in particular is my least favorite, but it's still not bad. It's just not, compared to the other one, it's just not as good. So in terms of articulation, we've got the shoulder going 360, like such. We have the elbow going about 90 degrees. Nothing at the wrist, unfortunately. There's a little bit of wiggle, but nothing like, you know, actually, I didn't never notice that before. There is actually a twist. It's just really hard to get to. I had never got the grip before, but this one being brand new, I am able to grab his fist properly, and it's actually turning. So that's awesome. Then we have some twisting at the waist. We have the knee bending 90 degrees, or a little bit more, I guess. The leg going almost a full 180. And a little bit of an ankle tilt, as well as a movement up and down. Like there is good articulation, it just feels a little stiff and sometimes a little hard to pose. And then at the shoulder, obviously, because it rotates backwards, you do have this effect. Actually, how did I just do that? Oh, there we go. We actually have to pull them out as well. It gives them a bit more. And then we have an up and down motion as well at the shoulder. So yeah, overall, this is a little bit better than I remember it. But yeah, posability, as you can see, allows for some pretty decent poses. Come on, Optimus. Let's get you. There we go. So that's him in his robot mode. And then let's make the base. So for the base, Okay, so for the base, we want to have the wheels. We want to have the toe flipped out on this part. So it's in here. Flip it out. You bring the wheels, you bring the wheels flat that way. Do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Join them together. Like such. That's part one. Then we have these guys. We flip. Just 1 second. There we go. Open. And so, just to show you, we flipped them. See, there's a gun inside. Flipped it all the way around. And then you reveal the fist as well. Now, to use them as a base piece, just give me 1 second. It's a little different. You want to have it built this way. So from the hand mode, you want to stretch this one out. You want to bring this one equal, flip the gun facing forward towards the blue part. And then you want to bring this one completely up. And then this is going to be positioned like such. Like that. Same thing here. Spin the hand, straighten out the thumb, and then angle it a little bit because it's basically a missile launcher. So these two parts, and then so we sit these on the shoulders. So there's a peg here underneath, and there's a peg hole here on the shoulder. So you sit that here. Just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. And there we go. Now, we have this part going up in the middle. So we're going to put the missiles back in. Okay. So this part needs to be stretched out. I'm just trying to understand here real quick. Yeah, this needs to come sit. So there's two peg holes here underneath, and there's two peg holes here on the leg tops, on the gray parts. So you peg those into each other. Come on. What do you? Just 1 second. Oh, actually, no, sorry, my bad. It's the two peg holes here at the back of the gray thing on each side. Just like that. Flatten the wheel. Then we spread these things, bring this facing forward. And then we come and peg. There's two peg holes on top of the gray platform on each side here, and there's a little peg on the corner of the red piece, and you just peg it in such way. Same thing with the other piece on the other side. Kitty. No. Cats always when they're not supposed to be. And there we have it, folks. It's not the most stable. Actually, I think I need to turn this way. If you turn it that way, it's a little bit more stable. According to the instructions, it is supposed to be the other way, but this way you also get to fire your missiles if you need to. Oh, this one has a loose launcher. Oh, that sucks. I might just need to tighten this screw a little bit. I'll do that later. But anyways, yes, as you can see, it doesn't allow to use this gun because it doesn't rotate, but it does allow to fire these missiles. And if you don't need them, you can lock them back in. And then again, flip this around. And you can always slant it a little bit to give it more stability. But here it is, boat base mode and robot mode. Now, let's send it into, I think they call it mega mode. Yes, so basically, this one is not going to use the base. So we're going to undo what we just did. Instead, it's going to use these other parts as attack parts for Optimus. So we want the foot out. We want the wheels in. Such. Then we want to open these panels and pull out the piece that's in there. Close them. Take them out. Now, oh no, sorry. I was looking at Ultra mode. So for Mega mode, we are going to spin the wheels in and take the feet, but we're going to put the feet down this way, and this piece is going to stay in. So this should look like that. Looking a line too low for a second. And this should look like that. And then they're going to come and attach. So there's a peg hole on the shoulder. There's a peg, sorry, on the shoulder, and there's a peg hole underneath. And it's just going to come and peg on. Peg on. Okay, so that's part one. 1 second. Just gotta find a stable. There we are. And part two, we're gonna form his fists. So we're gonna fold these just the way I had them at first. Take the shoulder off. And then this one, let's take the gun off. It's gonna come attach. Come on. Right there. Oh. There. Okay. Now for the other side, if he can stand up, there we go. So again, we're going to fold these back, take the shoulder off, fold this down, spin the gun, fold this, and then it's going to come, and there's 2 pegs here on the forearm and 2 holes inside, and you're just going to line it up as best you can. There we go. Bring the thumb down. And here we have Mega Mode Optimus Prime when he wants to stand up. That was my grievance with this one, because the other one also had loose legs. There we go. We can give him his gun. Actually, I remember this one has to peg somewhere when he has these hands on. A second, there we go. So let's peg him on top here. And then with these hands, he can use the cannons that he has on his forearms. Even though he has reduced mobility here with this armor suit. Try to pose him here a little bit for you. So 1 second. Come on, man. There we go. He really doesn't want to. I was saying that was one of the reasons. There we are. He's a little hard to pose in this mode. So there we have him. So that is what they call is Mega Mode. And let me zoom in a little bit. So he has like the front of his cab basically uses, or sorry, the wheel of his cabs are used basically as his missile launchers there on the shoulders, and then you've got the bigger fist that he's usually using in battle mode. All right, now they have also what they call Ultra Mode, which is what is my favorite mode with him. So let's do this. So let's show you. So what I showed you earlier with the other one, that's what we're going to turn this one into now. So we keep the fists on each of his shoulders. We're going to come and clamp one of these guys. So it's going to come just over like that. And you're going to see that there's like basically there's a little peg hole there at the front, and there's a little peg inside the piece, and you just have to bring these together. All right, so shoulders are done. Come on. All right, now this is the other part. So we got the foot out, and then we flip this open, bring this out, flip this down. Same thing, flip the foot, bring this out, flip this down. Actually, no, we don't flip this down. We leave these open because these are going to become his feet. So, as you can see, there's peg holes under the feet. There's a peg inside. It's a game of lining up. And then there's also a peg on the front of each legs, right here. A peg hole, I mean, and there's a peg on the top of this piece that we just pulled out of the leg. I'm trying to get it. So, 1 second. See that peg right there? So that's going to go into that front of the leg hole as well to secure it. There we go. And then same thing here. Oh, you're not supposed to. Just 1 second. There we go. This pegs in. And now we have the feet completed as well. Last part is new head and armor. So for that, this needs to be straightened like such. This just goes down, and then the chest is brought, the lights are brought down at the back, straight down. You pull this up. There is 3 pegs on the top here and 3 peg holes here, here, and here underneath. You got to line those up. This is the fun part. All right. Then the front of the armor just comes down. And then you can either have it like in the instructions with, oh, see, that's what I mean. That's the one part, again, of this mode that I hate, is how the pegs aren't securing always properly. So you can bring, you have to fold this upwards. You can, so you have to, stay connected. Okay, there we go. So you have to fold the head like of the, and I guess I would pull these in. Oh, there we go. Like that of the ladder in order to be able to have them standing like this. Oh, it's blurry. So there we go. But my favorite position, so in this mode, the gun first goes here in this peg on his shoulder. You know, he's got that chip on his shoulder. And now, like I was about to say, the way I like to display mine, I'm going to hold down the ladder, is by flipping the ladder forward over his head. Whoop. Again, it needs to clamp properly for you to do that. And you bring the front, fire the hose open, fire the missiles, and then here is how I personally display my Optimus by himself. This is my favorite mode. Articulation wise, again, it's about the same as the last, and I'll show you in a minute. It's just not as playable because of the complexity of the whole, you know, everything that's going on here. He's more of a display piece than a playing with kind of piece, but he's a beautiful bot. So again, articulation wise, we have the shoulder, because it's the same bot underneath, just with added pieces. It's basically a part former. Same 90-degree at the elbow. We do have rotation at the wrist here and a movable thumb. We have the gun that's also movable. Same rotation. Actually, at the waist, you're injured. No, you're good. You just have to lift a little bit. There we go. The knee, the leg's still a bit injured here by the back piece. The knee bends at 90 degrees. And then we lost the ankle tilt in the transformation mode. Push too far. 1 second. Come on. And there we go. Bring it down a bit. Yeah, that's the one thing. It's like when you bring it down, you don't want to push too much because you don't want the head of the other bot to push the ladder off. And just for the sake of the video, I'm going to bring the ladder down. All right. And here you have it, folks. So this is, like I was saying, by far my favorite Optimus Prime mold ever. You just got to be careful with some of the pieces. There we go. It's a bit finicky of a build. I mean, it was built in 2000, literally. Which also shows how the size of our robots have been shrinking and shrinking, because this is basically a leader class back then. And now if I take, just for size comparison while we're here, just 1 second, I'll fold my instruction. Let me grab leader class Ultra Magnus, because that is in the siege line probably the biggest. Him and Galaxy Upgrade Optimus are probably the two biggest leaders, and this is now what the leader looks like in terms of size. So it shrunk quite a bit over the years. But hey, this is what it is, right? They make them smaller, they ask more money, and we just keep paying. Plastic crack addiction, right? Well, I hope you guys like this review. There is another video coming, first one with Ultra Magnus, which combines with this guy to make Omega Prime, which is going to be the next That's Just Prime episode. I'm going to show you how we combine the two of them into Omega Prime. One feature before I let you go as well that I forgot to mention with this figure, it has a little panel here that lifts up with an extra gun so that you can use to make some more, as Emgo would say, some pew pew bang bang. So there we go. So I thank you so much for watching. If you were on the fence about this bot, about adding it to your collection or not, if it was worth the money, because I've seen on eBay how much he goes for, definitely worth the money, definitely worth adding to your collection. For me, it is definitely one of my grail piece, to the point where, like I said, I have a third one on the way, and I am thinking of getting a fourth to do the entire display with him in this mode, in Omega Prime, in Fire Truck, and in Bot and Base mode. So that's how much I love this mold, and I strongly recommend it. There is also another version available that I'm going to try to get my hands on and review for you guys if I can, which is, instead of red, is all been put into yellow, which is from another comic arc where it's actually a female Optimus Prime in this mold. So if I can get my hands on that, I definitely will show you guys here on the channel. But for the moment, stay tuned for that next video where I will show you how we can beef him up even more by combining it with his brother, Ultra Magnus. Thank you so much for watching. This is Optimus Prime 86 rolling out.